So in Caribbean cooking, seasonings are so important, and we often start with aromatics. So onions, garlic, green onions, thyme, Scotch bonnet pepper.
This is one of our favorite things to use, but it's very hard. And the seeds are where you get all of this good flavoring and the heat from.
So Mom already did the big cleanup of this meat. So Mom, you want to talk about how you clean up goat?
I don't ever buy goat meat and not clean it because it has some parts of it has too much fat. So I have to take my knife and go into all the little corners, get out all the little fatty pieces, because I don't want a pot of oil when I'm done cooking.
And there are bones in here, which we like and we keep. If you're cooking meat with bones, it's like way more flavorful. So we're using pretty much the same things that we have in fresh form, in powdered form. Jamaican curry powder, key. This is our favorite brand. Every Jamaican house has this brand there. It's called Better Pack. Can you help me, Mother?
Okay, dear.
Thank you, my sous chef. Gonna get in trouble for saying that.
I'm not your sous chef. Guys, there's a funny little story about when she was born. My mother thought, oh, let me buy a little goat and raise with her, and I'll call her sister.
So I had a sister goat.
Yes, you did. You had a sister goat.
Like, I knew we had a goat called Sister, and she was mine, but I didn't know that Grandma bought her when I was born, and she was supposed to be my literal
your
sister.
Because there was no other kid around, just you. So you had to have somebody grow up with you.
And y'all chose a goat. Mm-hmm. Sister got into a lot of trouble.
Lots of trouble.
Acted like she was human. She used to eat rice and dumpling and bread. And she would go and terrorize our neighbors and eat all their food. And then Grandma would be in trouble trying to replace everybody's food in the village. So Sister was trouble. But from Sister, we got like 20 something goats.
Yep.
We raised all these goats, and my granddad will kill a goat every Christmas.
Every Christmas we would have goat
Yeah,
meat.
so even as kids, we weren't very like scared about watching him slaughter a goat because it was done so honorably.
No, we never did eat Sister.
We did not eat, thank God, we did not eat Sister. We did not eat Sister. We weren't scared or hurt when they were killed. And we kind of knew even as children that it was like the passage. It was the circle of life. That was what was going to happen to our goats. Eventually we would eat them. And so curry goat is like a super important dish in our household. But in a lot of Jamaican households, it's like the celebratory dish, right? It's like weddings, funerals, Christmas
important occasion.
Yeah, there's always curry goat.
If somebody comes to your house and you don't have curry goat, oh my God, such injustice. Such injustice.
So the first thing is to start off with some oil, and I'm using cold pressed coconut oil. The coconut oil is really going to set this dish off and give it really, really great flavor. Also want to turn the stove on. That might be a good idea. And then into the oil, we're gonna toast some curry powder. A lot of times you'll hear a Jamaican or a Caribbean person say, you're burning the curry. Do not burn the curry.
If you burn it, it's gonna be bitter.
It'll be bitter and it'll ruin the entire dish. And that smells so good already. I can tell that this is a male goat. Our noses are trained to just tell when we're cooking a male. And we tend to, usually in our country, we only kill the males and we only eat the males because we want the females to reproduce and make more goats, more babies for us. So we eat the male goats and we can tell this one is definitely a male. Yeah, I learned to cook curry from my grandma, and my grandmother raised me pretty much my whole life. My mom was still at home, but then she migrated to the United States and I stayed with my grandmother until I was 14. So pretty much everything I knew, like the basics, foundational cooking, I learned from my grandmother in Jamaica. And then when I got here, my mom sort of like reinforced and taught me a lot of new things because she was here learning to cook things like turkey,
lasagna and all the rest.
Lasagna, I'm like, what in the world is that? The only time I ever saw lasagna was Garfield, the cartoon. But all the foundational cooking, like Jamaican cooking, I learned from my grandma Bob's, who's no longer with us, but we love her dearly. And we hope to
we
carry
do.
on all of the lessons she taught us through our kids and generations and generations. Our goat has started to sweat, and this is what we kind of like it to do on its own without adding any liquid. As I'm stirring, I'm feeling that some of the meat in the center is like starting to stick a little, which is sort of the indication that it's now time for the water to be added. I'm gonna take that water up to almost covering the meat, not quite. And during the cook, you'll probably need to top this water up again as it cooks off. All right guys, so now we're going to make a traditional cabbage salad. This is something that my grandmother made every Sunday, always went with our Sunday dinners, right Mom?
Yes. Okay, first I'm gonna cut this in half, and you wanna just go in and thinly slice.
This is something that my grandmother would do in the palm of her hands, which is not safe. I would not recommend. But that's how I learned to do it, is to hold the cabbage this way and to shred thinly with the knife this way. When I first started, I would have like little tiny cuts all down my hands.
Yep.
But definitely the safer way is to use your cutting board. So I'm gonna try to make this just as my grandma taught me. So I'm cutting the top and the bottom off, and she would take just some of the skin off, not all of it. Use a peeler and then alternate. You should leave it like this.
When was the last time you two made a meal together?
Like when I'm cooking for my blog, she does like most of the cutting and prep work for me. So it's kind of like every weekend we cook together, but not in like a nice loving way. Because it feels like I'm just ordering her around and asking her to do more and more and more. It's my new life now to blog, so that's how she helps me and shows me love in the kitchen.
Oh, sure.
Right, Mom?
Yes, sure.
Oh, sounds dissenting.
I think it's good because she gets to express herself, you know, in the ways that she wanted to as a child. So I think it's so good. She always was interested in cooking. Started cooking since I was 9 years old. My parents could always come home to a cooked meal. And even my sister girls don't like cooking. And then she came along and followed suit. She loves to eat, so she loves to cook, I should say.
That's right.
Loves to eat, so she loves to cook.
I think that's actually why I learned to cook so young, because I was so greedy. So how do we dress this salad? We start out with
About a quarter cup of vinegar, just plain white vinegar. A couple of tablespoons of sugar, white sugar.
it's supposed to be pretty sweet.
Sweet and tart. Now let me taste it.
Sure. And you see what my mother's doing? She wants to taste in the palm of her hand. This is a traditional Jamaican thing to do. We do not put spoons in our mouths. Never. That's something that would get me kicked out of the kitchen. There we go.
That's good. That's good.
We're dressing the whole salad, and we're doing it early, even before everything else is done cooking and we're ready to eat, because the longer the dressing sits on this, the more tasty it is. Now we don't toss the tomatoes in the vinegar. I just like to put them on top. Look how pretty. That's it, y'all. All right, guys, we're almost there. The meat is tender, so now we're gonna do our final seasoning. Oh, wait, mommy, not in your hand.
Yanikie, it's okay. I won't cut myself, I promise. It's so much easier to do.
In your hand?
Yes.
I don't find
Trust
so.
me. See, I feel like I'm lost doing this.
On the board?
Yes.
Okay.
This brings back so much memories of home. So much memories of home. And it brings up so much memories of my mother too. Because I used to do a lot of cooking with my mother back home. On a Sunday, we'd be side by side, just like with me and her. You know, side by side in the kitchen.
Yeah, it does bring back lots of memories of grandma, because she was very
And you had to be thorough.
Yeah, very strict.
Don't think you're gonna just put anything a certain way or slapdash, as we call it, a certain way. No, that didn't work for my mom. You
Very
had to be
strict.
thorough and you had to do things properly.
So this has been cooking for an hour and a half. So a lot of those seasonings sort of like melted out. We kind of want to lift the flavors again by adding more seasonings in the end. Mommy, you want to give it a taste? Let's see if we might need salt. Again, tasting is in the palm. Always in the palm. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh wow, that's good.
No salt?
No salt.
Ooh.
A little spicy there.
You like my food?
Yes, it's a little spicy there.
All right, so we're gonna let the potatoes get nice and tender. Once they're tender, this is pretty much done. And we're gonna plate it up and have the perfect bite. We usually serve this just like this, family style. Smells delicious. Smells so good. So I think the perfect bite is a little meat, a little potato, a little of the rice, and a little bit of that salad.
Really good.
God, this is delicious.
100% approval. Hits the spot every time.
Thank you guys so much for watching me and my best friend cook today. This recipe is really important in our family, and I loved every minute of cooking it today and sharing it. Hi, Mommy.
Yes, that was awesome. Awesome sauce.
I'm glad.